or I was born with dystrophic dysplasia, dwarfism, and I also have scoliosis. And the scoliosis is so bad that it curves in such a way that the doctors actually thought that it would crush my lungs and my heart. And I would hear when I was smaller, about the doctors saying, well, she might not live past 6, or, any day now it could happen. And then that's when I kind of had to realize that doctors are great. They have an assignment. They're there to help. But God is the doctors of all doctors. And so I've had to rely on him and understand that, while people might think that you can't do this, think that you cannot accomplish this, God is always telling me, Monique, you're here. I'm going to astound people through you. So let's do this. I have someone who is far beyond what I can even imagine, think, see. And he's been used through me. Is amazing. So why not devote my work back to the Creator? I feel like God is everywhere. You don't necessarily have to say Jesus Christ, bold and red and his blood color. I don't think have to do that. Your work can be beautiful. God is beauty, because it doesn't overtly say Jesus. Anyone can look at it and say, hey, that's nice. And it can go from a conversation of design, a conversation of creativity, to knowing of my story, and then reading the bio and then seeing, hey, she's a believer. Okay, well, what does that mean? I just look at all my attributes and all of, what I'm made up of when I look in the mirror and say that, well, that may not be perfect. And then I kind of realized that God made me not only in his image, but he almost put this, it's like he put a stamp of approval. And, while I may say, this is not right, am I supposed to look like this? Oh, no, I may say that, but God is saying, yeah, I wanted you to be that way, and there's a reason why. We're always trying to fix something, and a lot of times it's not meant to be fixed, and sometimes we break things, because we're trying to fix it. That's why we have depression. That's why we have people who have suicidal thoughts, because we're not living up to what man says is beautiful or what man thinks is right. What I believe is that because God created us in his image, we're all beautiful. I definitely believe that I'm beautiful. Even though everything may not be, perfect, I'm his child. And of course, I'm going to roll around with my head held high and, just do what he wants me to do.